Hi everybody, my name's Charlie Wallace, and for my portfolio project for Nucamp, I chose to create a website called Scenic City Hikes. The goal of this website, or its main purpose, was to showcase some local hiking spots in the Chattanooga area, um, and we can just dive right in. This landing page, you can see here, basically shows a few local hiking spots. I tried to design these cards such that they look like Polaroid pictures, and they kind of have a little bit of CSS styling on hover so that there's some responsiveness there. Um, I used React Spring to animate each of these cards so that when they're clicked, they do a nice smooth flip transition there. You can see a quote from somebody who's visited the park on the back of the picture. That could obviously be updated down the road to include links to individual hiking trail pages and so forth. And all of these can transition that way as well. So the landing page, I wanted to keep it simple. It's just here to showcase these um, different hiking trails. And we have a nav bar up here with some font awesome icons that changes color upon hover. And then some social media links down at the footer as well. The styling for this project was done primarily with React Strap plus a lot of just um, plain old CSS. So moving away from the landing page, let's click on the About page. I just wrote a little bit about what inspired me to build the site with a picture of a local hiking spot. Um, Pretty basic here, not a ton of third-party libraries or anything else going on beyond this div and this image here. So going over to the Trails page, I actually was able to incorporate a third-party library that utilizes the Google Maps API. And that was a learning experience for me. It was a challenge for me to be able to hide the API key that allows this to function. Um, I had to read up a lot about environment variables and when those should be used, and it was a really good learning experience for me. But through that API and that third-party library, I was able to actually include some custom points on the map around the city of Chattanooga that sort of highlight the most famous hiking trails and also include a little label so you can actually see which trail is located where. Um, Moving on, we have the donate page. I used another third-party React library built off of the PayPal API, which also includes Venmo. So in theory, if there was a backend built into this site, you'd be able to make donations that would support the local hiking trails. I did manage to, even though the site doesn't have a backend, create this toggle amount for the donation amount, so that that amount will actually update when you click this PayPal donate link so that you can see whichever amount is chosen in the form that comes up. I'm not going to do that right now because it'll pull up my PayPal info, but I was happy that that turned out working pretty well. Lastly, we have a Contacts Us page using Formic. Pretty basic contact page here, and it does have some feedback for the user if things aren't filled in or if an email isn't in the correct format or things like that. Again, this is not hooked up to any sort of backend, which would be a great place to expand on this project. So if you try to submit this form, it's not really going to go anywhere or do anything. It'll just blank out the form. So yeah, that's basically the gist of my project. We can look at the code briefly because I know we're coming up on time, as these are supposed to be 5 minutes. But the navigation is fairly straightforward, just using React Router to break up this page into break up this application into the different pages you just saw. Pretty straightforward there. Obviously SCSS for the bootstrap edits. And yeah, there was a few components. I think the hardest thing for me to create in a seamless way was those picture cards that you see here. I had to transition these over from Bootstrap and then add some unique things to React to make that transition look seamless and not skip and things like that, and so that they actually looked somewhat like Polaroid cards. I think if I was to take this further, I might change these around so they don't look so neatly placed, but rather maybe they stack or look like they're hanging on a bulletin board or something like that. But yeah, and then so we have that. We have the amount picker for my PayPal API, along with the donate button and donate form. There's actually a lot more there than meets the eye, even though that donation form looks pretty simple. But yeah, that's basically the gist of it. I think the biggest challenges for me on this project were just getting that front landing page, the first page that the user will see to function properly, as well as finding out how to hide that API key for my Google Maps API. I think, not to say that other parts of this project didn't take time, but that was mainly a case of reading up on the different APIs and third-party libraries that I was using, and didn't really stump me. But in particular, the Google Maps API and this page took the longest, just to sort of troubleshoot what looked the best. But yeah, that's my portfolio project. Thank you for watching, and that's my presentation. Thank you.